So do you know what percentage of African Americans actually seek help?
No, I do not, John. Tell me.
It's 25%. So if you do the research on how many of us it actually is in the U.S., only 25% of us actually seek help for.
Not a large number.
That's a terrible number.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like that was one of the best decisions I made. I'm in that 25%, but it was also one of the hardest decisions I had to make in my life. Was just the fact of thinking, hey, I actually do have an issue. You know, owning it is the biggest part of it. You know, that's the hardest part, is to actually own up to it and say, hey, there is something wrong with me. I do need help with my issue. So let me seek help.
Question. Do you think it's owning it or identifying it? Which one is the harder of the two?
Owning it. Because you can identify it with all the signs and symptoms.
And then still deny
and
it.
still deny it. But once you own it, to me, owning it gave it less power over my life. Gave it less control. It's just like when you have these issues going on, talking about it, speaking about these things, give them less power. Mm-hmm. So if there is an issue, something's bothering you, something's just like harboring you. It has no power, or the power decreases once I start talking about it. Yeah. You know, because then it's no longer in the background, it's in the forefront, and it's out there.
Something you're aware of.
And I'm comfortable about it, you know. And that's something just I've shared my experiences, you know, very limited with a few people. Not many people have I shared my experiences with, but the ones I have shared my experience with reach out in some way and say thank you. It really helped me, you know. Just me being more so vulnerable and open enough to talk about, hey, you know, I do have these things I go through or I went through. I had these issues, but I can tell you how I got through those issues or how I started the process to decrease those issues. But that doesn't mean you should follow my same footsteps.
No, but it does. What it does for people, it adds that secureness and that comfortability to know that I'm not the only one that's dealing with something of this nature.
Yeah.
That's how it helps people. And I do want to acknowledge, and I want everybody else to acknowledge that everybody is fighting some kind of mental illness. Everybody has a battle. We don't all have the same exact battle. Some of us can relate to others, some of us can't, but we are all fighting something. Don't think nobody's perfectly healthy. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are.
And I tell you this though, it's so to think about how my character is viewed is, I wouldn't even say it was eye-opening to just really accept how people view me. Is this very, very outgoing person, you know, up-tempo, up in spirit, happy-go-lucky. I've always been popular, but just throughout that, that was always, like I was speaking on earlier, that was a way also for me to like hide stuff, you know? It's because I was always around people, or I was always had these interactions, and I could completely block out like, hey, you know, this is what's really sitting on my mind, and this is where my mind really is. And just to like see how people viewed me, and then actually tell someone like, this is what's on my mind majority of the time.
Yeah. And
then their faces just completely drop, and most people cry. You know.
And then I can relate to the same thing. Like, I've always been fairly well known, because I mean, I get along with pretty much everybody I meet. I don't have a problem with that. But when you're not that person that they know you are, or they know you to be, a lot of people don't accept. It's hard for them to accept when you're dealing with something that is showing and they can see it.
Mm-hmm.
they're so used to you being the bubbly personality and life of the party and all that. So when that other side comes out, it's not even other side. It's when you're dealing with an issue or whatever situation may be. When they finally notice it, they don't know how to accept it. They don't know how to handle it.
So let's say, like, and just to be transparent here, so when I think I met you, what, 2011, 2010, 2011?
13.
Or was it 2012?
It was like end of 12 going in 13.
Okay. It was like, all right. So when I first met you, we met through work and became cool from there. Right at that time was what I considered, I had to give it a title. So it just this was the title I gave it. That was game over in my life in 2013.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that was game over, because at that point, that was by far the lowest point of my life that I've ever experienced. Like, that was the first time I was at the lowest, And that was one of the most difficult times also, because everything I was going through, I started going through, and just to be even more transparent, in 2009, I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
And when I say I didn't have anything, I didn't have anything. All I had was an ego and pride in 2009. I lost everything that I had that I thought made me. And that's why I'll say this. That's when God was knocking at the door and I just didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to answer that door. I didn't want to open that door. So everything was removed from me that I thought made me. So I remember I was going to school. I had 3 jobs at the time. I lost all 3 jobs, dropped out of school, nowhere to stay, and just to be completely real about it, my ego kept me in one of the worst situations that I was in, just because I was prideful. My ego was the reason I was there. Too prideful to say, hey, I messed up. Too prideful to ask for help. So that created some more issues within me as far as trust, like just dependability in other people. And those issues really weren't with those people. Those issues were with me, because I created this facade, and then once real life showed, none of that existed. Yeah. So what I thought these people were, the image I created of these people were not these people. Yeah. And it was just like the image of myself I created that. So, and you fast forward, so it takes me about 3 years to really kind of get my feet back under me. And I'm working my way to get my feet back under me and get my life back situated. And I remember in 2013, it's when all these things really just hit. All these emotions just hit me out of nowhere that I've been hiding and running from. Even though my life seems like it's going well, I'm not well. Yeah. I'm not happy. I'm not happy with myself. I'm not happy with the person I've become, because when that stuff happened, that created a traumatic experience. Just like that whole experience was just traumatic, to just watch my life fall apart, and not know what to actually do. And like I said, be too prideful to reach out and say, I need help. If I think about it now, I probably could have made 1 or 2 phone calls, and it wouldn't have been so bad, and it probably wouldn't have changed. just got a little uncomfortable. But to completely go from everything to nothing in a matter of 60 days is how long it took for me to go from everything to where I'm comfortable to absolutely have nothing and really just try to figure out where I'm going to go. So like I said, we're back to 2013. I'm working my way back. You guys are seeing me day to day, like we were talking about earlier. You can't tell nothing's wrong, but I have these horrible habits. And I remember this. It's one of those days I was supposed to work, but then I got called and said, don't come in, take a break, which is one of the worst things for me to do. I didn't know what a break was. And I remember just like, if the phone rings at 5, I'm already dressed. I'm ready to head out the door. Hey, just take the day off. You've been working too hard. Just get you some rest today. And this is a Saturday. And I remember I'm just like, what do I do? And so I take my work clothes off, and then I remember I throw on a shirt and some shorts, and I sit on the couch. And it's like, when I close my eyes for a second, everything that I had been through ran through my head. And when I say immediate depression hit me, it was immediate. In my head, in my eyes, I did not want to see those images, but I could not open my eyes.
Sit along with your thoughts.
And I don't know how long I sat there, but it was way too long.
Yeah.
And that was, when I said immediate depression hit and sunk in, I had an immediate breakdown, and I just lost it. Like right there. Like I could not move, I'm locked, I'm stuck. And I mean, I was just like telling myself, I can't go through this. I can't do this. Like, as strong as I think I am, I'm not strong enough to get over this. I've been lying to myself. I've been lying to everybody around me. I can't do this. I don't want to be here. I don't want to think these thoughts. I don't want to see this. Like, and I remember just like, I'm giving up. I'm giving up. Like I kept saying out loud, I'm giving up. I'm giving up. My eyes have not opened. I'm still seeing everything I went through. And I'm just really trying to open my eyes as much as I can. Like I'm trying, like telling myself in my brain, open your eyes. But then this is once again, God knocking on that door.
Yeah.
But now I'm forced to open it. Basically, he kicked the door in. See this. I want you to view this. You need to see this. You've been running from this for years.
Yeah.
You need to actually see this and pay attention to this. Okay? I brought you through this for a reason. Okay? And I remember I accepted that moment. I fought through that. That moment's over with. And I'm still stuck. I can't really move. And in my head, I'm still telling myself, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And I mean, I'm yelling to the top of my lungs, I don't want to be here. Like, just take me. Just take me out in myself right now. I don't want to be here. I don't want to think this. Because in that moment, that's when everything really set in and the loneliness kicked back in. So it's all these things that I had been through previously. Well, they're amplified now. And it's harder to deal with now because I've ignored it and it's all hit me at once. So I remember just getting in the truck and I drove to the bridge. And I was just telling myself, like, what you're going to do is you're just going to walk off into this water. Nobody's going to see you. Nobody's going to miss you. I remember I pulled up, I wrote a note, and I still have that note till today. I left my keys on my dash in my truck. I left a note, and I left my phone. I removed all passwords from my phone. Everything's right here. And it was a note to everyone addressed that basically the note just said, I'm sorry for the lies. I'm sorry for not being myself. I'm sorry for portraying the person that I'm not. On the inside, I'm dead. You know, I can't feel, and I can't take it anymore. It's basically just what the note said, and it was just directions to a notebook that was in my house that had. There was a notebook that I wrote in about how I truly felt. And I probably wrote that notebook for probably over a year. Yeah. And every answer you need will be in this notebook. Everything you need will be in this notebook. And I'm sorry, goodbye. And it was just like and I left the keys. And I get out and I start walking. You know, you step over the cables. And so I'm walking along the bridge. And I'm trying to stay like as close as I can to it so nobody can see me at all. And I'm just like, this is it, you know? And I'm fully clothed, shoes on and everything, and my shoes hit the water. I remember as soon as my shoes hit the water's chilly, ice cold. And the wind blows. And it's just like in hearing a voice in the wind, don't do it, turn around, I love you. And it's like a feeling of just complete embrace. Yeah. And at that moment, just when I just like broke, fell like knees in the water and just lost it again on my knees. And I fall on my hands and I just say, I'm sorry. And I can see my reflection in the water. And I just tell myself, this isn't you. And there's a voice saying, get up. And I get up, walk back to the car and just sit there for a minute. And I say, I'm going to get help. I have a problem. I need somebody to help me with this. And from that point forward, I reached out that day. And I remember I hit a friend and I was like, hey, when you get a chance, can you come over? I want to talk to you about something. She came over and I gave her the note I wrote. And I let her read it. And she just took it and she folded the note back up perfectly. She sat it on the table. And she said, I'm going to stay here with you, no matter if you don't want me to. I feel like I need to be here. So I'm going to sit here with you. You don't have to talk, but just know I'm right here with you because somebody needs to be, and I'm that person. So I'm going to be here with you until Monday. And Monday, we're going to get you some help. And I just accepted it. And I just told her, thank you. And the craziest part was I've never accepted anybody's help on anything as far as that. Like if I got something I'm gonna do it myself. Yeah. And that's that pride, that's that ego.
But you know you needed that.
I can do it all myself. No. At that moment I needed her to take charge, and she took charge. And I really feel like she's the one that saved me. And from that point forward, man, that proved to me that finding help is very important. Having that support system is very important. Because without that, you will self-destruct. Life can be too much, you know? It's like I spill these things about social media, like these people living these fake lives behind these pictures and these likes. You don't know the hell they're going through. Mm-hmm. You know, that could just be their temporary escape so they, you know, to get their mind off of it.
That's where they find solace.
Exactly.
Going to the support system, I don't think my mom knows how much of a huge part she's played in me not making those wrong decisions. At that time when I was talking about college and basketball and all that, mm-hmm. I had to come back home. I was depressed because my life was basketball. Mm-hmm. That was my plan. Mm-hmm. Just make it to the league. Things didn't work out at school. things changed. I was stuck at school, wasting my time, felt uncomfortable. I was depressed while in college, and that's really when I started drinking a lot. Because I mean, I didn't see it as coping, but that's what I was doing. Come back home. That was '07. I come back home. My son's born in '08.
Yeah.
And me and his mom weren't in the best of situations. He's born. I'm still trying to figure shit out. At this point, I know I'm depressed. I'm walking around. Like, room completely dark. TV not on. Like I said, anytime I've gotten depressed, it's dark colors. You know how I dress. I'm vibrant. But I'm wearing dark colors. I don't want to be seen by anybody. I don't want to talk. I'm living in the house with my mom and I'm not talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
And this went on for like a year or two. Because you met Kobe around he was 4.
Yeah, it was about that time.
So it's probably been 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And like you said, you continue through your daily activities. You can hide shit to the people that you don't care if you don't want them to see it. So yeah, you can hide it.
I mean, you can hide it from somebody that knows you and lives with you and see you every day. Yeah. I mean, just look at how many people look at married couples and look at a married couple where one of the spouses commit suicide and the other one was like, well, what the hell? Yeah. I see him every day. I go to sleep with him. I wake up with him. I eat with him every day. How could they be going through this and I not know about it? Yeah. Well, it's not that you don't pay attention to it. It's they
don't want you to see it.
Man, people become great at hiding, you know? That's why when you first meet somebody, I believe it's very important to get those things out there and to ask that question. Do you have any mental illness? Do you have any mental issues? Have you been diagnosed? Do you suffer from anything? Any trauma, anxiety, depression? Like, that doesn't make you a bad person to admit that and to actually say, yes, I do suffer from a few of these things.
It doesn't make you an ass to ask it either.
No.
You need to know. Especially if you're going to continue. If let's say you accept what they have to deal with, they're there for them, blah blah blah. Y'all have kids. It's gonna affect your kids.
Exactly. And like, if you're dating somebody, you've been dating them or you married, and you don't know how they grew up, ask them some questions about how they grew up.
Yeah,
find out more about their childhood.
Those are the questions. Not do you have crazy exes? Do anybody need to worry about? No. Ask what they've been through.
That's it.
I've never asked that stuff. I don't care about that. I need to know if you are healthy.
That's it. Did you grow up alone? Were you okay growing up alone? Did you have anybody to talk to? Do you have anybody that you experienced some great life moments with, or were there moments you didn't have anybody? Yeah. Like, those are like really good questions to ask.
Going back to that, I can completely relate on you talking about going to the water and giving up. I didn't make an extreme decision to that point, but every day I woke up, I was like, I don't even know if I even wanted to wake up today. And this is while I have my child. Mm-hmm. I look at him, I love him to death. Mm-hmm. I would give the world for him, but I'm not in the right headspace. Mm-hmm. And then my mom saw it in me. She would never come at me sideways during that time. She would come to me, she said, look, I know life isn't going the way you planned, but you have him to worry about now. It's not about you anymore. It took a while for me to grasp it. She told me every day because I was going through it. She told me every single day. And one day he walked up. Then I've told you since he started talking, Kobe said, "Daddy, I love you." Mm-hmm. He just came up to me and he hugged me. I'm sitting on the bed. He came to me, he hugged me, and he looked me dead in my eyes. He was like, "Daddy." Like, he just stared. You had the big ass eyes. He just stared. He said, "I love you." I broke down crying. And at that moment, I realized, I was like, this boy needs me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I came out it right at that moment, but not long after that, everything started turning around.
I remember, so I've had 7 therapists, okay? Like, we're just going to be honest about it. I've had 7. And the reason I've had 7 is I stayed with the first one so long because that was my first one. I I didn't really know it was helping, but it wasn't really helping because I believe, and I'm a living testimony to this, my therapist needs to look like me.
Yeah,
For a reason.
of course.
Because my therapist needs to know what I'm talking about when I describe some of these things I go through. All right. Not to say that someone, the opposite skin color of me hasn't went through these same things, but you don't know the full struggle.
Yeah, somebody can understand that struggle.
Like, you don't know the full struggles of everything without me explaining everything to you.
And you still don't know.
Still don't know. Like, I could explain it completely to him. He still wouldn't understand because he didn't grow up with it.
Yeah.
He didn't experience that, and he didn't have that many patients that went through these things. So it's just unrelatable, and that's no effect to them.
Yeah.
But I've had 7, and the one I have now to me is perfect because we've covered so much ground in such a short amount of time. I've only had him for maybe I got him in the pandemic in May. We started doing virtuals.
So a year.
Yeah. And in that year, hell, we've covered more than I was able to cover with the one I had for 3 years.
Yeah.
Probably twice as much as that, just because he's relatable. He can relate to what I'm talking about a whole lot easier, and we can really dive into those things.
Yeah.
And one thing that he was able to bring out was, he was like, you talk about you have an anger issue. You always feel mad. I was like, yes. I said, I smile a lot. I'm so angry on the inside. And he was like, why do you think you're angry? I was like, I don't really know. Like, it's hard to explain why I'm angry. I said, but I feel very angry a lot. He was like, anger kind of, it starts from depression. He said, you being depressed a lot will create anger within you. I got to thinking about it, and I was like, I can see that. I was like, because I remember just being mad at myself. I'm not mad at people, just mad at myself,
Yeah.
Like, I don't like you. Like, I really don't. Like, looking in the mirror, telling myself, I don't like you. Yeah. Like, we're going to get through the day, but just so you know, I don't really like you. Like, I won't really look at many reflections of myself. It's like I would see like something that I could see a reflection on, and I would like wipe my hand across it so it'd be a smear so I don't see it. And he was like, that's an issue where you don't like the person that you see because you're not being you. You're not being the best version of you. He was like, what'd he say? Anger is divine. Fire is divine. Fire has power when used the correct way.
Yeah.
And it like sat on me for a while. And I was like, ooh, like, wait, you dropped something. Like, that's hard right there. I like that.
That's hard, he said.
It just, and that's really stuck with me is use that anger to propel you. And that went back to just playing sports is when something happened, when you made me mad playing ball, I'm coming for your ass. Like, I'm finna get on your ass because I'm mad, It's just like, if you BSing in practice, your coach gonna light a fire into your ass and piss you off, and you finna go hard.
Yeah.
You're using that anger as fuel and positivity. Like, you're using that to drive you. And once I started doing that, like, the way I felt about myself really cleared up, I love me now. I love me. I love the person I am. I love the person I've became. I love the person I'm becoming. With these changes I made lately, dude, like, that peace is really setting in. And that's something that I was unable to achieve was just inner peace, because I had so many inner demons and just fighting myself from within so many ways and just hating myself.
Yeah.
And once you get back to loving yourself, well, let me change that. Once you get back to knowing yourself, you get back to loving yourself. Then you can love the person you are and love the person that you're becoming. You actually see your progress as a person. And I had a conversation with one of my exes about why we didn't work. And this is years ago.
Yeah.
And I said, part of the reason we didn't work is because I ain't like me. And she was like, well, I thought you didn't like me. No, wasn't that.
Yeah.
I loved you. I didn't like myself. So I was always angry. And she was like, yeah, and you like took that anger out on me. I mean, it ain't no like I took the anger out on you. I did take the anger out on you. You know, and I had to go back and apologize about that, you know, and just really filled her in on some things I was going through. And this is another person that's just like, well, why you didn't tell me?
Yeah.
I'm like, do you think those things all right, so now do you think those things are easy to talk about? And she was like, no. So think about back then. Do you think they were easy for me to talk about back then? I said, first of all, I didn't even identify those issues. It's just now I identified what happened then. So now I'm able to tell you that's why some of that stuff happened. And it's just it created a better feeling between us, because there was some tension when we ended until that conversation. And then it's like, cool, all right, boom, I'm better off now. And I feel like once you identify some of these issues, you can go do cleanup work after a while. You don't have to clean up everything, but some things you know you need to clean up.
Yeah.
You can go clean those things up. And all that pride set aside, and I can really talk about this, you know? And that's why I got the friends I got. Because, one, if I talk about something, I ain't judged. Yeah. They're going to listen, understand, but also remember. You know? It's like if I start talking about something right now, you'll remember a previous conversation and be like, all right, those two go together. I understand where he's coming from. Like, it gives you more understanding and more depth into just the friendship, I believe. So
even with that, I'm the most recent out of your circle, and we going on what, almost 10 years.
Yes.
So
I don't have many people.
Me neither. I tell you all the time, I see the progress. I see the change. I mean, we speak on a daily basis, so
yeah.
of course I really see it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but you see the change and you see the progress without first understanding that I had those issues.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just how it's been, man. To be honest, and another time that I'm going through hell and nobody can pick up on is right before I moved here. That was the reason I moved here. I was going through too much shit, like where I was, and I was like, okay, let me try something different, which is uproot and move and try something else. Let's see if me changing my location fixes this. Because I was trying everything and nothing was working.
Yeah.
And I remember I upped my therapy sessions twice a week. I was doing once a week. Then I upped them to twice a week. And that seemed like it was helping, but that actually hurt me more. So I was like, well, let me just up and move. A opportunity presented itself. I jumped on it. I took it. And to me, that was the worst decision I had made from that point to date.
Yeah.
That was one of the worst decisions, was completely unrooting everything I had and just kind of like I left stuff undealt with, and then just moved and tried to create a new life. That was the worst decision I made.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Oh my God. Like, so yes, I hid those issues for like 6 months. But then they just like showed their head. So at one time I'm being hit from so many directions. I'm just like, what in the hell have I done to myself? So I don't ever suggest that. Don't run from issues. Don't run from problems. Like, talk about them. Like I said, it gives them less power and actually deal with them on the forefront.
I remember this was right before my daughter was born. Remember I was about to take off and move back to Texas?
Yeah.
So glad I did.
I'm telling you.
I'm so glad I did.
I actually did it. So
I know.
learn from my experience.
I did. And the crazy thing is I didn't know everything you were going. I knew you were dealing with stuff, but of course I never force stuff out of you. If you want to tell me, you'll tell me, and I'm here to support. But I knew you were handling some stuff that was getting out of control with you and your life. And I was like, I just hope my brother gets that peace that he deserves.
The people close to me thought that the issues were the relationship I was in.
I knew that was part. I knew that wasn't all.
That relationship was. We talked about this before. That relationship was healthy.
Yeah.
Until I turned sour.
Yeah.
Until I started reverting back to old ways of just putting that mask on.
Hey, what's this stuff we read a few weeks ago? As soon as I think I'm progressing, I go right back to my old shit.
I go right back, and I went right back to the old ways of just like looking myself in the mirror in the morning and say, "Hey, we're gonna get through this. Let's go." You know, it's the face wipe, boom, everything goes away. And I mean, I did everything I did previously. I made myself so busy. I never sat still.
Oh yeah, here, boy, you've been moving since you've been here.
Oh, I've been what? Let me see. I would say 36 months is like nonstop, no breaks, no sleep.
Yeah, you wasn't eating right for a minute.
No, when I first got here, I was doing good. I was doing all right. I wouldn't say I was doing good. I was doing okay, because that stuff I tried to run from, it didn't show up.
And then I'm not gonna name, but you jumped into old habits.
Oh, head first,
heavy,
yeah. Like I've never had before, and I'll say this: those coping mechanisms, they're horrible. Like,
and they people think they work for whatever amount of time. They're never working.
Like, oh, that's my vice. Find a better vice.
The vice isn't.
Find some healthy vices. Find better vices. Find vices that actually help you progress and help you get through what you're actually going through. Not things that cover up those issues.
That's not a vice. That's a crutch.
Or help you hide those issues or suppress them. Those are terrible things for people to do. Like that, I don't support that at all. You're killing yourself.
Slowly.
And I don't care what you say your vice is. Like, you're killing yourself. And when I say you're killing yourself because you're just ignoring issues completely. You know, somebody may say, well, me coming home after a really rough day to where I'm just not available mentally or emotionally and get a big bowl of ice cream and cookies and sit on the couch. That's my vice. Well, hey, when your ass pops up with diabetes, like I said, those vices are killing you. So I did that. I don't suggest people do that at all. And to also be transparent on something else, I was reading a book, and I can't remember what book it was, but there was a line in the book. It was a chapter, actually. And the first line said, "Fixing the man I am." And it was like, how do I fix the man I am?
Yeah.
And I wrote that down. On I don't know how many pieces of paper and notebooks. There's somewhere scribbled in there is fixing the man I am. Fix the man I am. Fix the man I've become. Fix who I am. Yeah. Fix my issues. Fixing my thoughts, you know. That line is stuck with me since I read that, and it's also helped me and just propelled me to continue to do good, continue to put this work in to fix myself. And like I said, just admit the fact that I was broken, you know, and fix it. Like, actually fix it. Actually write an action plan. I wrote an action plan on how to fix my brokenness. How do I fix it? You know, that was real eye opening to just write down all my issues.
The same thing that applies in everyday life applies to our own situations. As long as you're trying, you're progressing.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're putting in effort, you're progressing. You're making it better. When you don't try, that's when you fail.
So, and I wrote some things down, and these are just things that I think, these are things that have helped me, just components of being mentally healthy.
Before you continue, I'm gonna let you know your long ass battery is about to outlast mine, so we finna be on your camera. I just had to throw that in there.
Like I said, components of being mentally healthy. The number one thing is understand yourself. What your needs are. Components of being mentally healthy. Understand yourself. Know what your needs are, and be able to communicate what your needs actually are.
Yeah.
Those are some of the most important components of having a positive mental health. Able to communicate what your needs are is one of the most important things. Once you identify what you actually need, being able to communicate what you need to someone and them to emotionally understand what you need and be able to give that to you is very important. Also giving yourself what you need, being rest, time, support, healthy eating, exercise, those 5 things. Giving yourself that will get you ahead and keep you ahead. Once you establish the groundwork, doing those 5 things will actually keep you ahead. Coping with challenges in life is something that so many of us struggle with, and why so many of us have depression. Just changes. Some people just don't like change. Yeah. And that's something that has to be understood as far as friendships, partnerships, relationships, just whatsoever. You just got to understand, not everyone likes change. Change doesn't affect me. Like, changes in life and things, whether it be career-wise, location, living, whatever it is, changes, I welcome change because I see positivity in change. Some, when they see change, it's because they're creatures of habit and they're comfortable.
I say their routine is comfortable.
They just have a set routine, so they do the same thing and they know it. Yeah. Okay? But you throw some change in there and that completely throws them off balance. So, like, again, making time for yourself. Some people don't understand how important making time for yourself is. Yes, being with friends, going out, that could be seen as making time for yourself, but sometimes people just need me time. Mm-hmm. You know, we went to go get something to eat yesterday. Guy pulled up to the bar. I just want one beer. Drunk his one beer and left. I see that as him making time for himself. Hey, he may not be going through something at the crib, but the fact that he took that time to just chill and get his little 10 minutes in by himself, bam, that's perfect.
That could have powered the rest of his week.
Exactly. I've learned to take 15-minute breaks and take those 15-minute breaks and I'll walk off to where can't nobody see me, or you can't actually say something to me, and just unload and just refresh myself. And that keeps me from being overwhelmed also. So I learned that being the best you, don't beat up on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Understand that not everything is going to happen when you want it.
That's so hard.
And how you want it to happen.
That is so hard for me.
Like, understand that. Like, it's hard for a lot. Don't beat yourself.
Yeah.
Because you beating on yourself, isn't making the situation better. You're giving yourself anxiety. You're your heart. When people say, "Oh, my hardest critic," like it makes my teeth just grind. I grind my teeth when I hear it because I know what that's doing to someone mentally. You know, I hate that for them. I can't change it for them, but I hate that for them. And the best thing I can say is don't do that to yourself. Give yourself a chance to actually live your life. Give yourself props for the smallest things. If you got up this morning, if you know you sleep in and something you want to do is start waking up earlier, if you get up 20 minutes earlier today than you did yesterday, give yourself props for it. If you know you're a procrastinator and you say, hey, I want to stop procrastinating and really maximize my time, give yourself props for the small things you do. Celebrate those small victories. It doesn't always have to be the biggest leaps. Yeah. Just celebrate those small victories. That goes a long way with just building that self-confidence, building that self-love, and really with that self-accountability. Yeah. That helps you out big time. Getting rest, that's something I still struggle with. Insomnia.
Lately, it's been getting a little bit better.
It's getting better, but it's only getting better due through help. Yeah. I had to take sleeping meds to go to sleep now. Yeah. If I don't take them, I'm wired and wide awake.
Yeah, I know when you be sitting, I'm like, this nigga's still up.
I will.
Be 4 o'clock in the morning.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I've probably been asleep 30 minutes.
I wake up, I see 3 Facebook videos, 4:35 a.m. Why? Why are you up?
It's a Saturday or Sunday and I'm wide awake. Yeah. What are we gonna do?
Hit that letter. Go finish this. I'm saying, nigga, I'm out. My brain is shut down.
It's like what was I told? I'm the worst person to go on vacation with.
I'm not gonna let you get no sleep.
People start drinking, they get sleepy. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. People want to go back to the hotel. No, let's go. I'm ready to go. Let's go do this. It's like, cool. I took a shower. I ate, and I sat here for an hour, and my body's like, "Hey, you ready to go again? Let's do this one more time. You ready?" Okay. So, yeah, I've been told I'm the worst person to go on vacation with. I just accept it. But then there was another thing, accepting the fact that I don't rest. Yeah. Not resting just amplified everything. Yeah. That, I don't care what medicine they give you, it ain't gonna work if you don't sleep. I'm sorry.
Have to allow your body time to recharge, man.
To me, it just don't work.
And then, at this point in my life, the last heavy situation I went through caused me to gain stress weight, which in turn caused me to have sleeping issues. So now, I'm not afraid to talk about it. I have a CPAP. I love that motherfucker because I sleep all night, don't wake up. I've been through all that stuff where I'm not getting sleep, getting up to use the bathroom, and that people don't know that if you sleep, when you're sleeping, you get up to use the bathroom, that is a form, or that's an initiator of sleep apnea. I told the doctor when I went, I was like, man, I always gotta use the bathroom in the middle of the night, and I can't go back to sleep when I go lay back down. He's like, that's sleep apnea.
That's your 3-year-old bladder. That's all it is.
Oh, bladder's fine. It may be a little fucked up.
That's what I'm saying.
But I would always wake up at around 2 or 3, and then for the rest of the night I can't go back to sleep. I'll fall asleep. Say if I gotta get up at 8, I'll fall asleep at 6:30.
Imagine getting into bed at 9 and maybe fall asleep by 11, 12, 1 o'clock. You up. Next thing you know, the sun's coming up, and you're like, well, I might as well just go and get up. So another suggestion, really one thing that I promote the biggest after going through everything I've been through is I want everybody to reach out to somebody. Yes. It doesn't have to be a professional. It doesn't have to be a family member. It could be, no matter where you are, it could be a counselor of some type. It could be a preacher. It could be your auntie, your best friend, your coworker. It's whoever you feel you can get that connection with and will actually take the time to listen and listen for comprehension, listen to understand, not listen to respond. Just actually listen to you and be able to actually help guide you in the direction that you need. Get that support group. Get you, it doesn't have to be 4 or 5 people. It could be one person, you know? It could be 2 people. Just whatever it is, develop these support groups and really start checking on each other and actually checking on your people. That's so important for us just to check on our people. And if you check on them enough, they may not just come out and tell you, like up front at that, right now. But if you keep checking on them, eventually they will unpack it on you and you'll help them out. So keep reaching out. And when you actually reach out to somebody, like actually give a damn, actually care, And when somebody tells you about something, like don't share it, man. Don't tell their business, Like don't try to make this a viral moment. Don't try to don't have any intentions of humiliating this person. Keep that private because you don't know what it took out of them to actually share that with you. And that's just it. I just want people to check on each other.
That's all it takes, man.
Actually care and actually take the time to get to know yourself. Once you start doing that, you start to understand some of your issues. You get to see your issues, and then you start to learn how to deal with those issues. And once you do that, man, like the quality of life gets so much better.
Oh, you tell me.
So,
found so much peace.
That's my biggest advice to someone.
Well, my bitch ass camera's about to die. So, for me, thank y'all for joining the WTM podcast once again. Of course, we always have new content. He actually wrote a lot down. I'm trying to be fucking Rambo and just come off the brain with stuff, but I need to start writing stuff down. But we try to work on topics that everybody can relate to. Like we say every episode, is the kind of stuff we talk about every day.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Everyday conversation. And I didn't write stuff down to be the greatest, but it's just
to get those ideas through.
I mean, I have so much, and we got so far away from what's written on this paper that I actually have to keep looking down on the paper to actually remember some of the hot points I wanted to make sure I covered. So, and like I said, this won't just be a part 1. I know there'll be a part 2 behind this.
This alone is 2 parts.
So there's going to be more to this. And like I said, I really want to add female guests to it to get the female perspective in our generation of what they actually went through. And then also we can follow back through and get on the other side of more topics. So.
And with that, I mean, if you want to be on the show with us, just let us know. You can contact us, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Comment on the YouTube channel. Just let us know.
And we'll do it. And we can do it live. We can do a Facebook Live, Instagram Live, however we got.
Contact and connect any way we can. We are out here to make a difference, not in every community, but in the black community mostly. Because we need each other. We really do.
And I know, hey, there's many out there with worse stories than mine. But
mine too.
If I could use my story to help anybody, and I mean, like me being vulnerable shows the growth to be able to open up and talk about those things. And I just hope that helps somebody. And if you want to just reach out, man, like you can hit me Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, wherever you got to hit me.
Yeah.
Like I'm here to listen to you, not judge you, nothing. I'm not, I'm not a professional. I don't want to be a professional in that. It's just, I know what it's like to actually not have anyone. You got people around you, but you may not want to unpack it on them because they may not know how to handle it.
Yeah.
So I'm here to listen. If you need some support, man, I'm here for you. For the ones that have reached out, hey, you're in the support group now, so we're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep checking on each other. So, man, we appreciate you guys once again. And also, shout out to the homie Danielle for this fire shirt. Royalty. She got her own brand. She's working on it. She's up and coming. So as soon as she gets all her stuff together, we're gonna add the link under the video. So
Definitely.
also, big shout out to her. I appreciate you so much for it. Support your people also. And like I always say, if you got those dreams, don't worry about getting them perfect. Just get those things launched, get it out there. Worry about perfecting that later. So,
and black people, stop asking for the hookup. Just pay for the shit.
Support your people, man.
Damn.
Like, I don't understand.
If their time putting all this work in, you want a hookup.
If I say something's $25, don't ask me, can you get it for $20?
Because you go to Gucci ain't never got sales.
You never ask Gucci for a discount.
So don't ask your fellow comrades for discounts, man.
So support your people, man. You want to see your community grow, just support your people. Also, business owners, entrepreneurs, do professional work, man.
Yes.
Understand what true customer service is.
Yes. That kills a lot of business.
Customer service is so important. So taking care of the customer, making sure they have an excellent experience with you, makes return customers, creates that loyalty.
Yep.
And they're always going to do business with you.
Fastest business was word of mouth.
Yep. So, once again, man, we appreciate you guys. I love you. Be easy.